Ever wondered what it feels like when money loses all its worth? Today, we dive into the astounding story of Zimbabwe's $100 trillion banknotes. In the early 2000s, Zimbabwe faced an economic meltdown that defied belief. A mix of political turmoil, mismanagement, and severe drought pushed the economy over the edge. To solve mounting problems, the government decided to print more cash. At first, it seemed like a quick fix for soaring expenses. But as more money flooded the market, inflation began to spiral out of control. Prices for everyday items soared to astronomical levels overnight. Imagine a loaf of bread costing millions, where basic groceries became luxuries. The more the government printed, the less the money was truly worth. By 2008, banknotes with denominations as high as $100 trillion were introduced. This colossal figure turned paper into a symbol of economic despair. Every transaction in Zimbabwe transformed into a surreal, almost absurd event. Citizens began carrying enormous bundles of cash for simple purchases. Shops updated their price tags several times a day to keep up with runaway costs. Salaries lost their value by the hour, leaving ordinary people in chaos. Every bill carried a story of lost trust and shattered financial stability. Behind this economic disaster were critical missteps in fiscal policy. Political instability and corruption compounded the crisis further. These errors created a vicious cycle where printing more money only deepened the collapse. In this environment, traditional commerce gave way to bartering and informal trades. Local markets became hubs of exchange where goods replaced meaningless cash. People swapped vegetables for fuel and basic supplies instead of using devalued money. The infamous $100 trillion note emerged as a haunting reminder of failed policies. It was not just a banknote, but a symbol of a nation in turmoil. For many Zimbabweans, this crisis struck at the very heart of their daily lives. Families saw their life savings vanish overnight, leaving nothing but paper and despair. Essential services like healthcare and education suffered as funds plummeted. Hospitals and schools struggled to operate in the midst of economic chaos. Amid the turmoil, ordinary citizens became resourceful and resilient. They adapted by forging new ways to trade and survive without reliable money. These grassroots solutions highlighted the human spirit during hard times. In 2009, Zimbabwe made a drastic move by abandoning its own currency. Foreign currencies, like the US dollar and South African rand, replaced the local notes. This change marked the end of a tumultuous era of hyperinflation. Yet the memory of those monumental banknotes lives on as a cautionary tale. The $100 trillion note now serves as a collector's item and historical reminder. It stands as proof that money is only as valuable as the trust placed in it. Economists and historians study Zimbabwe's experience as a stark lesson in fiscal responsibility. They show us that unchecked policies and a collapse of confidence can bring down even a strong nation. Zimbabwe's hyperinflation teaches us about the delicate balance required in any economy. It reminds us that behind every currency is the trust of an entire people. This extraordinary chapter reshaped lives and altered the course of a nation. It forced a reevaluation of how economies operate and how quickly stability can crumble. The legacy of this crisis challenges us to consider modern financial practices. How much do we really trust the money in our wallets? Zimbabwe's story is a vivid wake-up call about the risks of economic mismanagement. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most astonishing financial disasters. If you found this exploration intriguing, please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, stay curious and remember that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.